So welcome to this morning's class, guys. My name is Tom. I'm going to be your instructor for this morning's full body movement class. Hi Keith, thanks very much. As you guys will notice, I'm up at Jubilee today. Unfortunately, this doesn't mean that the gym is now open. I'm actually here to do some building checks, but also need to do a class at the same time. So I thought I might as well make use of the space that we've got here. So, as I said, it's a full body movement or full body flow class this morning. I'm going to change it slightly to what we've been doing before. Usually we would do mobility movements in the first half and then sort of strength-based body weight movements in the second half. But what we're going to do today is link the two together. So we're going to have a mobility movement and then we're going to have some sort of body weight resistance movement to go with that one as well. As always, make sure that you've got some water with you. If you've got a soft surface, that'd be better to do this on. We're going to spend quite a bit of time on our knees. Otherwise, you can put a pillow under your knees, or if you've got some sort of like Tyler's knee pads, something like that, you can use those as well. If you've got any questions whilst we're in the live class, please feel free to ping them up, and I will answer them at the end. And if you've got any questions afterwards, once this has been uploaded, again, just comment and we'll happily answer the question. Alright, so the first thing then, we're going to unlock our hips just to get started as we always do. So you're going to drop your knees apart, just over shoulder width apart, nice and wide there, hands down flat, and you're just going to rock forwards and backwards, nice and easy. Good. And what we're doing here is we're unlocking the hips. So things might feel a little bit crunchy, especially if you spent a lot of time sat down. So just nice and easy, forwards and backwards. Again from the side, splaying your feet out almost like you're a frog. Forwards and backwards there, bringing the hips right back. And then bringing the hips right forwards to the floor there. Trying to go a little bit further each time. Nice and easy movement. There, and once it starts to feel a little bit looser, you can speed it up a little bit. Alright, perfect. So, give me 2 seconds, guys. I'm just going to grab myself a mat, actually. Alright, just a little bit uncomfortable on the AstroTurf on the knees. So, got our mat there. Alright, our very first one then that we're going to be doing is called lying leg overs, and we're going to couple that in with window wipers. So your lying leg overs, it's a rotation mobility movement, looking at getting the rotation in your mid-spine there. So you're going to lie flat on your back, arms are going to go out to your side, you bring the right knee up, bring it over the body, touch it just to the floor, and you come back to the middle. So you're going to go same on the other side, left knee comes up, over the body, touch it towards the floor, back into the middle. Now as you're reaching over with the knee, try and breathe out. So breathe in as the knee comes up, breathe out as you're going over, in and out again. Good. You might be able to hear a little crack, that's my back cracks. Good. And continuing to move from side to side. Good. We're going here for about another 30 seconds. Trying to keep, as you can see, my arm's coming off the floor because I'm not particularly flexible. So trying to keep that arm on the floor as you reach over. There we go, good. You're really getting that rotation in the mid back there. Good, from side to side. Okay, so now we're going to bring it into window wipers. So some of you might already know this exercise. You're going to have arms out to the side. You're going to start off with your knees up. Both knees are going to go to one side. Touch them on the floor. Nice and slowly over to the other side. Good. And as you're moving, thinking about squeezing your midsection. Good. Keeping your abs nice and tight. If you find the arms aren't very comfortable here, you can put them down at a bit of a 45-degree angle, make a fist. Good, and if you want to make it a little harder, you can extend those legs up so that you're then going from side to side with your straight legs there. Good, so again, nice and slowly. This whole class is about controlling your movement. let's go one more on the right. Back to the middle. Okay, so that's our first movement done. We've got our window wipers and our lying leg overs. Now, next one, we're moving into sit-ups, into that box position that we've done before, or 90-90, or shin box, and then we're going to go into some knee tucks. So lying again, flat down on your back. Oh, what I forgot to say at the beginning, we're going to make our way from the floor to standing all the way through the class. So by the time we get to our last exercise, we're going to be pretty much in a standing position, but to start off with, it's all going to be on the floor. So you're going to do a sit-up without your hands. Knees are going to come in together, so that foot comes to the knee and the other foot comes behind. So you're in a nice square shape here. Legs go back out, lower yourself back down. Good. And up the other side. So sit up, tuck the knees under, and sit up nice and tall when you're up the top here. So legs out straight, lower down. Good. Back up. Tuck the knees under. Again, there's that nice box position there. Legs go straight, lower yourself down, and then you're going to come back up onto the other side. Now when you're in this position, you want to sit up nice and tall. If you're all slouched like this, it's not very helpful. So nice and tall on that position there. Slowly lower yourself down, crunch back up, nice and slow. Knees go to the side, sit up tall. Good, let's see if we can get maybe one more on each side. Good, again, nice and slow. Key to slow movement is to keeping your abs squeezed nice and tight. So as you move in there, keep everything nice and tight. Okay, so we're now going to go into our sit-ups, into a knee tuck. So it's that slow sit-up. Up, knees come up, feet off the floor, extend the legs back out, and lower yourself back down. So from the side there. So it's that sit-up, legs relaxed, knees come up, straighten the legs and lower yourself back down. Now if you want to, you can put the two together. So you can go sitting up, right knee there, knees up, extend back down. So let's go over to the other side. Let's go sit up, scoop those feet under, sitting up nice and tall. Legs go straight so that they're off the floor, and lower yourself back down. Let's try that one more time on both sides. So sit up, slide the knees under, sit up tall, extend the legs back out, and lower yourself back down. One more on the other side. So sitting up, scooping those feet under, sitting nice and tall. Legs go straight, and lower yourself back down. Nice one. Okay, so that's exercise number 2 complete. We just grab a quick drink. It is very hot in here today, guys, so you might see sweat flying all over the place as I move, as we don't have any air conditioning on up in here. So, all right. Now next one, we're going to move on to our fronts this time. So moving into a plank position, or sort of a plank position, apologies. Now we're going to drop our knees apart at the same place that they were at the beginning when we were loosening our hips up. So knees nice and far apart, so it's comfortable. You're going to come down onto your forearms. So forearms right down here, hands flat on the floor. Don't know if you can see it on the camera, just about. Okay, so hands flat on the floor, and you're going to take the right hand, reach behind the arm as far as you can, dropping that shoulder to the floor, and then back into the middle. Same on the other side, reaching through. Good. And what we're doing here, guys, is looking to get a bit of rotation into our mid-spine, that thoracic region. And the reason we've got our knees apart is to lock our hips in place so that we're not tempted to create the movement from our hips rather than our back. Now again, as you reach through, you want to be trying to breathe outwards as you're reaching. So breathe in here, and then breathing out there. Good. To the middle. Good. Each time you're reaching through, try to bring that shoulder down to the floor. Let's go one more on each side. Excellent. Okay, now staying in this position, we're now going to move into some alternating plank steps. So, hands flat on the floor, we're going to go into that sort of plank position, but the right leg is going to go out straight first, and then the left leg is going to follow. So here in our plank position, right leg out, left leg out, right leg back in, left leg back in. Quite simple. Nice and slow. Good. Always coming back to that position of your knees to the side. So as you can see, let's try and show you that from the side there. So knees out to the side. Squeeze your fist nice and tight. Leg goes out straight. Other leg goes straight. Bring it back in and back in. Now ideally, as you can see there, that's bad position for me because my back was on. So try and keep that back nice and straight with your chest up a little. Leg goes out straight. Other one follows. Good. Straight. Straight. Back in. Back in. Now we can include that first movement there so that we can go two together. So drop those knees apart. We're going to reach behind the arm, back to the middle, leg goes out, knee comes in, reach to the other side, back into the middle, leg goes out, comes in, and reach to the other side. Let's try that one more time. So leg out, good, reach across, back in the middle, and back to finish there. Now I'm just going to turn the music down a tiny little bit. Okay, so that's number 3 that we got there. So those ones you can move together. Again, reaching through, coming back into the middle, extend the legs, and reaching out to the other side, all the while keeping your midsection squeezed nice and tight. That's the key to all of these movements and keeping the body nice and controlled. Okay, so we're going to get back down into our plank position. Now this time, you might have seen it before where someone goes from a plank into a high plank, and then we're going to move into a lunge position from there. So, let's start down on our forearms. Again, you can see that just at the bottom of the camera there. Starting on our forearms, we're going to move into that plank position, move into the high plank position, and then from there we're going to move into that lunge position. Rear knee goes down, up nice and tall. Hands back down, rear knee comes off, leg goes back down, into the low plank, up into the high plank. This time the left leg comes across. So left leg forward, rear knee down, and again we're going back. So left leg, whoops. So rear knee off, left leg back, down into that low plank, and then up onto the other side. So high plank position, step forward into the lunge, rear knee goes down, rear knee comes up, step backwards, down into the plank, and then back up again. So forward, down, up, and back. Plank, plank, right leg forward, left knee down, left knee up, and rear knee down. Okay, so next one that we're going to move into is that then from the lunge position there, we're going up into a high lunge position. So we're going to start off in that low plank position there. So low plank, move up into the high plank, right leg comes forward, rear knee goes down, coming up nice and tall, and we're going to push ourselves up into a standing position. So back down, hands go down, leg goes back nice and straight, down into the low plank, and then back up to the other side. So left leg forward, rear knee down, up nice and tall, push this front foot through the floor and the rear toes through the floor, push yourself up into that high split stance there. So back down, rear knee down, two hands on the floor, rear knee comes off the floor, foot goes back behind, back down into your plank, and then back up onto the other side. Forward, knee down, up tall, push into the ground, and come up. Down, hands down, rear knee off, leg back behind, down into low plank. Good. Left leg forward, rear knee down, up tall, feet to the ground, push yourself up. Hands down, rear knee off, down and down. Okay, so now we're going to try and make it a little bit more fluid, so I'm not going to give as many instructions. So that movement is continuous, right out and down. Let's go one more onto the other side. Leg up and down. Good. Okay, now as you can see, that kind of fits together those two quite well. So you can do that plank into the lunge position and then straight into the high lunge. They work really well together, and it's a good movement for getting the midsection going. Also a little bit of upper body strength there as well. Okay, so we're going to start ourselves off into a lunge position again. So let's take that right foot forwards. Both hands are going to go down on the floor. We're going to take the rear knee off the floor. So if you can just see that there we go. So rear knee comes off the floor. Now this right hand, you might have seen this one before. I call them reaching rainbows. I'm not 100% what they're called. But that right hand's going to reach backwards as far as you can. And big semicircle over the top. Leg goes back, other leg comes forward. Now same deal, left hand back this time. Reaching back, big semicircle all the way around, over the top, hands back down to the middle. Back out into a high plank, right foot forward, right arm reaches behind, and all the way up and over into that middle. Foot goes back, foot comes forward, reaching behind, up and over. So when we reach behind, guys, we want to try and reach as far down as we possibly can. So if you can see from the side here, we're in that lunge position here. Now we're going to do it on the right side, so that left knee is off the floor, right foot is forward. You're going to take the right hand and reach down as far as you can, almost like there's a big glass ceiling that you're trying to run your hand across up the top up there. So you're trying to reach up and then reach forward as far as you can, and what you'll feel is that stretch right down the side of your body there. So let's do it one more time on the opposite side. So it's that left foot forwards, left hand's going to come behind, reaching up, round, forwards, both hands back down into the middle from there. Now the next one that links in with that is from that lunge position. We go back out into the high plank, and then we're just going to add in a push-up. So let's see what that looks like all together. Now starting position then. Two hands together here, high plank position. We're going to go right foot is going to move first. So right foot comes up here. We're going to space out a little bit to the side just for balance. If you find that's a good point. If you do find that your balance is a bit challenging, just make your stance a little bit wider. So here, if I'm in close, that's kind of wobbly, so I'm going to move the hand out to the side so that we've got a nice wide stance there on the back. So that rear knee coming off the floor, right hand's going to reach back behind, big reaching rainbow as we come up to the top there. Then back into that high plank position, just add in a push-up this time, up and down, and we're going to move over to the other side. So that's that left foot coming forwards, left arm reaches behind, far over as you can, all the way around, back down to the middle, feet out, push up, and then that foot comes forward again. And again, this time, with these two linking together, you can try and make them a little more fluid. Think about, if you're musically inclined, think about keeping some sort of rhythm or beat as you're moving around that way. And that way makes everything a little more fluid as you then move around there. Okay, so there's that one there. Right, next one, before we then move into our standing positions. So we've got a little bit of time left. We're going to move into a what some people know as a pigeon pose, or sort of like a pigeon pose. And then from there we're going to move up into a standing position. So that pigeon position, it looks similar to it, but again, ever so slightly different. As long as you're doing it roughly the same, then that's absolutely fine. So we're going to let's go with our left foot forward first. Now the left foot, come forward into the lunge position here. Again, if you're a bit wobbly, just make that stance a little bit wider. Now we're going to step across the midline. Easiest way to get down to that position. Left hand's going to come down with it. Both hands are going to come down to the floor. And as you can see there, I've got almost a right angle. Now the further up you have your foot, the more of a stretch you're going to get right up in your glutes up there. Now we're going to try and get our chest down to the floor. Easily move from side to side a little. Just for a couple of seconds. Coming back up. Let's straighten that leg back out. Okay. So next side. Lunge forward. Step across the body. Right hand goes down. Knee comes down. And that body goes down nice and low from there. Back up we come. Straighten out. Knees down. Okay, let's lunge forward again. So across the center line of the body. Left hand goes down because we're using the left leg. Right hand comes down. If you want to put your hand here just to stop your foot from sliding under, then that's really helpful there. Again, getting that chest down nice and low. Coming back up, nice and tall. Back out. We're going to go one more on this side, and then we're going to move it into that standing position as well. So stepping across the midline, right hand comes down because we're using the right leg. Left hand comes to the foot there. And again, getting that body nice and low. Okay, now from here, we're going to stay in this position. Get our hands nice and straight. And then we're going to push ourselves up. Now, as you can see, this is going to be a little bit challenging on the balance. So that foot stays exactly where it is. Let's see that again. So from your pigeon pose there, or your pigeon position, you're going to push yourself up so that that foot stays planted on the floor. You're in sort of a lunge position there. And then you're going to move up into a stand. So back down, you're going to lunge backwards. That knee goes back down with the hand. Taking your chest back down to the floor. Let's go back up again. And then straighten out. So let's try that on the other side. A little bit complicated, especially on the way up. You get a little bit off balance. But that's kind of the point, is that we're not just going forwards and backwards all the time in a straight line. We're kind of moving from side to side as well. So let's take that left foot forwards. So left foot forwards. Step across the midline. Left hand goes down. Right hand comes just to support the foot there. Again, trying to get our chest down nice and low to the floor. And you feel that stretch just as you try and get your chest down as much as you can. Okay, up into a slightly higher body position there. Both hands are going to stay on that floor. We're using our left hand here to push us up mostly. Try and keep that foot stuck on the floor as it goes there. Now you can see I'm in a very tight lunge position here, and you're just going to push yourself up into a stand. So rear lunge back, knee comes down, hand goes down there, come back up into that flat position there. Okay, so let's try and add that all together. Let's go right foot all the way through up to stand back down, and then left foot. So right foot across the center line, right hand goes down. Oops, getting a bit sweaty here. Body comes down with it, come up nice and high, push yourself up into that position there, and then nice and tall. Down, knee goes down, right hand comes down. We're going chest to the floor, push yourself up, legs come out straight, and knees go down. Straight into left side, comes across the body. Left hand goes down, right hand goes down with it. Chest comes down to the floor, nice and low. You're coming up nice and high here, pushing yourself up into that tight lunge position, and then up into a stand from there. Back down to the floor with that rear lunge. Left knee goes down, left hand comes with it, right hand goes down, chest goes down, back up nice and high, and then you're into that finished position there. Okay, let me grab a very quick drink. We've got a few more exercises to run through, and then we'll be done for the morning. Okay, so these next ones, they're mostly from a seated position, mainly from the one that I'm sat in right now. Some people call this a Japanese rest pose. I'm not 100% sure onto the specific names of it, but you can either do it with your toes pushed in, so you sat back down on your heels, or you can do it with your feet flat down that way. Personally, I find this one a little bit more comfortable for me, but if you do get a little bit of tightness in the ankles there, you can just put yourself up nice and tall there. Okay, now our very first one that we're going to do in our seated positions is that shin box that we've done plenty of times before, or a 90-90. Very similar to the position that we were doing when we did the sit-ups to a box just a minute ago. So starting off, let's go to our left, shall we? So left foot's touching the right thigh, and you've got that nice 90-degree there. We're going to take our knees into the middle, they're facing directly forwards, and then the knees are going to come down to the opposite side. So we've now got our right foot touching our left thigh, and we've got that 90-degree or sort of box position there. Let's move from back into the middle, over to the other side. Good, and again, when we're in this side position here, you're going to be up as tall as you can. As you can see, my back there is nice and straight. So moving into the middle, knees go down and up to the other side. Now hopefully, because we've already done a load of other stuff beforehand, you should feel a little bit looser in your hips now, and this movement should be a little bit easier than if we were going to be doing it straight at the beginning. A couple of things to remember as you're moving here is you need to be breathing out as you're moving. Take a breath in here. Helps you move. And if you find things get a little bit sticky in your hips, so for instance, once you get to here, this is relatively easy, but once you get to here, if things don't move, don't push it, try and breathe out and relax into it. If it really doesn't go, you can put your hands on the floor behind you just to move through a little bit easier. It takes a bit of pressure off the hips. But for now, we're just going from side to side. Let's get that movement a little bit more fluid, and you will find that you slowly start to move yourself forwards. As you can see, I'm inching closer and closer to the camera. That's just an unfortunate byproduct of rolling around on the floor. So from the 90-90 position, we're then going to move into, I've not got a specific name for it unfortunately, but we're going to squeeze our butt, push your knees into the floor, and come up into what would be sort of like a high kneeling position. So squeeze, push yourself up into there. Again, you can see back's nice and straight, glutes are squeezed tight, so your butt muscles squeezed nice and tight, and knees are pushed into the floor. Take it back down, knees into the middle, over to the side, and back up. Good. Nice and easy movement from side to side, trying to keep it as fluid as possible. As you come up into that high position, so when I'm up here, what you might find is you get a bit of a stretch in your hip flexors just here. Make sure that you're squeezing your butt again as tightly as you can. And you're going to get some real nice fluid movement there. This really helps to get the hips moving nice and easy. Really good way to start the day with nice loose hips. Let's go one more on each side. Good. And we're there. Okay, so we're going into that sort of Japanese rest position. So remember, either here or here. Now I'm going to be facing forwards. So from this position, you're just going to sit back on your heels, nice and easy. All we're going to do is just reach behind us. But as we reach behind, we want to reach with 2 hands at the same time. We're going to take a big breath in before we reach. And as you're reaching backwards, try and keep the breath nice and slowly outwards. So, big breath in. Reaching backwards. Now you can see it's a little bit tight for me on that side. There we go. Cool, it's a bit tight on that side. So, that's why you should keep moving all the time rather than sitting on the sofa watching too much Netflix. So big breath in, reaching backwards. Good, big breath in, reaching backwards. Okay, let's go one more on each side. Let's make that one more again, just for good measure. Good, last one. Okay, now from here, we're just going to move into a standing position. We're going to bring the knee up nice and high. So, squeeze your butt, come up, step forward again, and bring that knee up nice and high. Lunge backwards, knee goes down, and sit down. So let's add those two together. I'm going to reach, reach, step up. So reach, again reach, come forwards, step up, knee up, and down there. Good. Same on the other side. So reach, reach, stepping forward with the left leg this time. So left leg forwards, step forward, and that knee up. Now, if you notice there, my balance isn't quite as good on my left side. So if you find that the balance is a little difficult, what you can do is again make that stance a little bit wider, so step slightly to the side, or keep your eyes focused on something that's directly in front of you. So let's try the left leg again, with my eyes focused a bit better this time. There we go, much better. Cool, back down. We're going to reach one more, on each side. Let's go right leg forwards, stepping up, knee up there, and down. Okay, so last movement that we've got in, guys, because we're sort of running out of time a little bit. We're going to move into a fully standing position this time. Actually, you know what, let's not. Let's stay down here. One, because the camera angle is a bit difficult, you might lose me, and what we're going to be doing is moving our upper body, so I don't want my upper body to be off the camera. So we're going to stay down in our Japanese rest position. So sat back on your heels or your toes pushed into the floor if you want to. And we're going to do a little bit of reaching. So let's take our left hand, palm up, so supinated if you want to use the posh word, reaching forwards, and you're going to take the right hand, again, palm facing forwards, and you're going to reach over at the same time. So reaching forwards as much as possible and reaching over as much as possible. Again, breathe out as you reach, helps to move through the movement. So breathe in, good, hand reach, same on the other side. Right hand forward, palm up, left hand reaching over, palm forwards. Good, and then you can start to add them together. Get that movement nice and fluid. Okay. Good. The important thing here, guys, is that you're reaching over as far as you can and forwards as far as you can. Now, it's a little bit complicated sometimes to start getting that movement together, so keep it slow and just focus on the movement being as controlled as you can. Okay, from here all we're going to do then is stand up and lie down a little bit. Now you can add this in, well, to be fair, you can add any of these exercises into the other one. A few of the ones at the beginning, they kind of fit together a little bit better, but otherwise you can try, stick them all together and make a sort of flow out of it, if you like. So very last thing that we're going to do, all we're going to do is stand up and lie down just to get the whole body movement. Only thing is we're going to use just one hand to start off with. So we're going to use our right hand to get up and down. So standing up, then going to lie down, right hand goes down to the floor, lie down flat, arm goes out to your side, coming up to stand, and from there, all we're doing, moving forwards, lying down. Now if you want to, you can do it where you lie down in the front, so still using just the right hand, we're going to lie down on our fronts, using just the right hand, arm out to the side, So let's take that to the back as well. Out to the side. Okay, switching it over, we're just going to use our left hand now. So going down onto your back, just the left hand. Arm out to the side. Coming up to stand, let's take it to our fronts. Just that left hand again. Keep your right stuck close to your body. Arm out to your side. Moving up to stand. Last time as we go down onto our backs. Up to stand. And we're done from there. Okay, give yourself a little shake off. Nice and easy. Now you can continue on with that standing and lying drill. It's known in some places as fall matrix, and you can do it with just one hand. You can do it with no hands. You can do it with a hand touched to your knee. Some of you might have been in a couple of classes before where we've, with myself, where we've used that as a warm-up. It gets the whole body moving, and it also gets the brain thinking and kind of engaged with what the body is actually up to. So, for instance, first thing in the morning, as it kind of is now, that'll be a great exercise or a great movement to be getting the brain turned on and the whole body nice and easy. As you'll find as well, if you do that continuously for about 5 minutes, you'll be pretty well out of puff. All right, guys, very well done. So that's the end of the class for this morning. As I mentioned a minute ago, all of these exercises, you can kind of link them all together. Some of the ones earlier in the session, they're better linked together, so they're sort of lunge positions, especially until they're reaching rainbows and then moving into a lunge and moving into a standing position from there. Have a play around with them and see if you can fit them together. We'll need a little bit of space, and again, it is a little bit, let's put a little bit of pressure on the knees, so make sure you've got either a soft surface or some pillows under your knees there. A couple of things just before we wrap it up. We've still got the Does You Good Twitter campaign going on, so I think it's every day. Just stick a couple of messages up on Twitter if you've got any questions, or we'll be putting out content just about some interesting stuff that's fitness related. Also, check out all of our other classes. We've all swapped over now, so a lot of the people that you saw last week, for the last few weeks, won't be on here for the next couple of weeks, so it's back to the people from about 4 weeks ago. So yeah, slight change in classes then. And then finally, we've still got that competition going where if you share your fitness story with us, you're in for a chance to win some Bluetooth headphones if we decide to publish it. All you need to do is send in an email to Sport and Wellbeing, that's the generic Sport and Wellbeing @sawson.ac.uk email address, and then if we decide to share your story on any of our platforms, then you win yourself some Bluetooth headphones. Other than that, guys, if you have any questions right now for anybody that's remaining, please feel free to stick them up. And if there's stuff you like, if there's stuff you didn't like, always stick a comment on the bottom of these videos, even after it's finished being live. We'll always do our best to make sure that we answer them. Okay, so my name is Tom. That was your morning mobility full body flow routine. Hope you have a lovely day, and we'll see you soon. Thank you very much.